we've got $3 million we're giving away this month in these work ethic scholarships. So we're training people for skilled jobs. We're training people for manufacturing jobs. We've been doing it for years. That's me in a cap and gown sitting there without any pants on, as if to indicate optically that even though I have my degree, I'm not actually trained for any of the opportunities occurring.
40 Guinness World Records.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, we have like so many plaques now that we have up on our wall. I'm basically making a wall out of Guinness plaques just from the show.
What are some of the records you guys broke?
Most contestants ever in a show, largest cash prize in a show, most cameras recording at once in a show, most people, which you saw.
Yeah.
And show like most money given away in the first episode of a show, just like stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's the most people probably since 9/11, I would think.
Oh my gosh.
And we might have to take that out. Yeah, and I shouldn't have said that. I'll say something else. Yeah, I haven't seen that many people at the same time.
Wait, why was there a cut before you say what you're saying right now?
Huh? There's just, we needed something to
you had to use the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah. Just had to use I'd already soiled the conversation. That's the most people at once that I'd seen since since I was in the parking lot of a Widespread Panic concert, you know? Mm-hmm. But that was LSD. That kind of works a little.
Yeah, I think that's honestly, you should keep the first one.
Here we go, dude. You said there's a lot of world records that were broken in the shooting of this series.
Yeah, 40 Guinness World Records.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, we have like so many plaques now that we have up on our wall. I'm basically making a wall out of Guinness plaques just from the show.
What are some of the records you guys broke?
Most contestants ever in a show, largest cash prize in a show, most cameras recording at once in a show, most people, which you saw.
Yeah.
And show like most money given away in the first episode of a show, just like stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're never supposed to say you're competitive, but there's been a lot of music biopics.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do a great fucking job, man. I love Bob Dylan. I love this artist. None of this is for granted. This little misconception about actors too and acting. You can have a cushy job on a TV show. If you don't give a fuck about your work, it could be a great lifestyle, right? You're making like high 6 figures, maybe low 7 figures, and you're just showing up when you want. If you give a fuck about what you're doing, these are long ass days.
Wow.
You know what I mean? These are 14-hour days, 6 days a week sometimes. 3 months. Look, I know people got it way harder, but I want to feel that grit. You know, I want to feel it. You know, I hope people don't laugh at it. I feel like I'm the hardest working man. Anyway, maybe I shouldn't say that, but
no, you respect what you do.
Yeah, because you got to. What else is the point? I talk about this with friends a lot. Like, this is too weird a lifestyle to be
nonchalant about.
Yeah, why do this?
Yeah.
If you're not going to go as hard as possible.
That is a speed bump that's been put into our calendar. It's just built in there. You know, it's a comma that says, hey, care, right? Care about the things that have happened to you. You know, find things to have gratitude for. And so, yeah, I want to think about those today and just things that I'm thankful for. I'm thankful... being able to whisper, that's a big one. I'm so thankful for that. Because otherwise, everybody in your family wouldn't know how you felt about them.
You're asking me what I've been up to. I've been visiting schools. I mean, now I have to like look at real schools because my oldest daughter's like going to turn 5, so that's like kindergarten. So yes, she has to get to like the real school system. Mm-hmm. And we were looking at this one place, and they have plainclothes just like guards now with guns. So it's kind of sick. I was like, dude, I really want to retire and become a plainclothes, just walk around school, just grow like a ponytail and just become a teacher. That's all you do all day. You carry a gun.
Slaughtered a cow and butchered it with a mobile butcher just to show viewers where their food comes from and what it takes to make a porterhouse, what it takes to get a sirloin, the difference between all these different things. People's heads exploded because the truth is, man, they don't want to see where their food comes from.
Right. Yeah, it makes you feel alive, dude. You know? It makes you feel alive. And then like you see something across town, you're like, man, I was a part of that. And you get to drive by and tell your son, I built that house. And your son's like, no way. I want to learn how to build something, you know?
Why do you think people lost their shit when Obama said, you didn't build that? But the architecture on either side was super cool, right? And as we're driving, he was like pointing up to the facade. He goes, yeah, we did that one. And then around the corner, he's like, yeah, we did that one too. And see over here, the way this that one took, and as he was talking, like his eyes were filling up, and he was driving past his life's work, and it was there on display to be seen, and I was very happy for him to be able to have that, but also very mindful of the fact that you can see the same wonder in the sewer, right? I think you would dig it. Basically, I would look for, and Facebook would tell me about people in these little towns that you probably couldn't find on a map that were doing something super cool in their neighborhood in a totally selfless way. So it's like bloody do-gooders running amok, right? And so we would go in there and we'd meet these people and we would tell them, like, I'm not there at this point. I would send the crew in and they'd say, hey, we're working on a documentary about your town. We understand you're doing some good work, maybe with foster care, maybe with PTSD, right? And we would love to talk to you about that. So meanwhile, they're filming that, and I come in later, and parades are arranged, and we free up a big chunk of money, sometimes $100,000, to maybe build something that allows them to do more of what they're already doing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Some kind of gift. So the show, it was a feel-good show, but it was also the making of a feel-good show. Now, here's where it gets crazy. We do 100 episodes, which is a lot. The show's a hit.
It's a lot.
It's downloaded 450 million times.
No way.
Okay.
Dude, congratulations, bro. You're an infection, and it's a good one.
It gets crazier. I win an Emmy.
And he was saying that one way to look at AI is that everyone will kind of level up, right? It's like suddenly kind of robots or computers will do a lot of the more menial tasks.
Yeah.
And everyone will kind of be a manager. And it's interesting because if you say that to me or your generation, our generation, kind of, that people would be like, well, I don't want to be the manager of 5 robots and I sit in a small dark room all the time and that's my life. And maybe I get 4-day work week instead of 5.
Yeah.
But if you told my nephews that, hey, you get to be the manager of 5 robots, and you just sit in this room and control them all day, they would think that's awesome.
Right.
Just because of how they've grown up, like everything is so gamified. So it's kind of interesting because you start to get into what the whole like perception of work, of being alive even is to people. Does that make any sense to you?